After 8 long years, the next generation of Nintendo is finally here. There is a lot circling the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2, from games to hardware and console availability. Here's how to make the most of the Switch 2 at launch. On June 5th, the Nintendo Switch 2 launches, with 2 versions available on store shelves. The base SKU includes the console, dock, Joy-Con, Joy-Con grip, and all the necessary cables and safety wrist straps that you'll need. Nintendo is also offering a limited time bundle. The bundle, launching with the system, includes everything from the base model, plus a download for the console's premier launch game, Mario Kart World, which we'll get to in a bit. Pricing in the USA comes in at $449.99 for the console itself, and $499.99 for the version with Mario Kart World. Since pre-orders went live back in April, numerous retailers have also additionally created their own bundles to inflate the price of what you'll be dropping day one to get your hands on a Nintendo Switch 2, so beware of markups. Speaking of pre-orders, if you weren't able to grab one, it's been revealed over the last several weeks that select retailers will be stocking a good amount of additional consoles in store for launch day pickups. Nintendo reportedly has been stockpiling consoles with about 8 million units ready for the day one launch, making this one of the largest console launches in history. To better your odds on securing a non-pre-order, be sure to check with local retailers like Best Buy to see if your store is going to be hosting a midnight launch event. Getting in line for a console as soon as possible is your best bet. Rounding out the more technical side of launch day, if you're able to find a console, you'll likely need to expand your storage sooner or later. While the Switch 2 ships with 256GB of internal storage, if you're looking to expand that for digital downloads on the device, you'll be needing a special new type of microSD card. MicroSD Express cards are the only type of expandable storage the Nintendo Switch 2 can take, thanks to the read and write speeds of these new cards. They're a bit pricey right now, but you best be prepared if you plan on filling up all 256 internal gigs with loads of games at launch or in the near future. So without further ado, the actual launch lineup. Nintendo console launches are always special and are usually defined by their marquee game. As established, the Switch 2 is launching with Mario Kart World, the first ever open world entry in the Mario Kart series, with a huge emphasis on online multiplayer. In addition to secrets, unlockables, and missions to complete while playing solo, new modes like Knockout Tour will see up to 24 racers competing online in an elimination-style cross-kingdom race. The biggest Mario Kart ever has a price to match, coming in at $80 for both physical and digital copies. It's quite a jump from the $60 price of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the original Switch, but be aware, Nintendo has made it clear that this $80 price tag will not apply to all of their upcoming games. Beyond the big dog, Nintendo is offering a few other titles on day one. A $10 price tag has brought some controversy to Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. This digital-only release functions as an informational breakdown on the tech inside the console, with minigames to demonstrate all the bells and whistles, and new technology like DLSS, what 4K looks like, and highlights the functionality of the new and improved Joy-Con. But believe it or not, as far as new software is concerned, that's it from Nintendo. In terms of other Nintendo games to play on day one, the Red brand is still providing more titles for players on launch. Nintendo Switch 2 Editions versions of games for the Switch, upgraded to take advantage of this next generation, are arriving on day one for 2 titles: The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. The Switch 2 editions of these games come with a host of technical upgrades, like an increase in resolution up to 4K, 60 frames per second, HDR support, and functionality with the Nintendo Switch mobile phone app. If your Nintendo account already has a digital copy, or if you own a physical copy of these games, it'll just cost $10 to get the upgraded Switch 2 versions. If you don't feel like dropping more money on upgrading 2 of the biggest games for the original Nintendo Switch, several games have been confirmed to be receiving free patches on June 5th that will improve anything from performance to adding in HDR support or game chat functionality. On launch day, ARMS, Big Brain Academy, Brain vs. Brain, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, Clubhouse Games, 51 Worldwide Classics, Game Builder Garage, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, Pokemon Scarlet, Pokemon Violet, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, Super Mario Odyssey, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, and The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening will all be receiving free updates to take advantage of the extra power on deck with the Nintendo Switch 2. Some of these titles are a bit infamous for how they ran on the original Nintendo Switch. So if you've been waiting and hoping for a better way to play these titles in your library, or you want to pick up some great games you missed from the last few years, now you have the perfect excuse. If you are looking for an excuse to upgrade your Nintendo Switch Online account to the Premium Expansion Pack tier, Nintendo also has another feature ready for you on launch day, with the addition of GameCube Classics to the most expensive tier of Nintendo Switch Online. Similar to the growing libraries of Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo, and Game Boy Classics, GameCube games are now joining the retro catalog of titles available to subscribers of Nintendo Switch Online plus Expansion Pack. For launch day, Nintendo has promised F-Zero GX, Soul Calibur 2, and The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker, with the promise of many more GameCube classics on the horizon, like Super Mario Strikers, Chibi Robo, and more. Moving on to third-party titles, day one of the Switch 2 is seeing ports of some of the most popular and underrated games of recent years, be it Street Fighter VI, Split Fiction, Kunitsugami from Capcom, and a whole lot more, from AAA to indie, depending on your tastes. But some things are changing for many of the third-party physical releases on the Switch 2. At launch, you should know that the overwhelming majority of physical third-party game releases for the Nintendo Switch 2 will be shipping on what is referred to as a game key card. Essentially, this functions like any physical Xbox disc you've purchased for the last decade plus. Pop the copy into your console, and then you will begin to initiate a download to get the game on your system. Basically, the physical game itself is just an authenticator. This means you'll need an internet connection to install the game on your first boot of the cart, or if you ever wish to reinstall it. Don't worry, this is not a one-time redemption sort of thing. Game key cards can still be lent out or traded, no issue. There are some notable third-party titles that are an exception to this strategy, choosing to instead use the standard game card, as publishers like Marvelous have come out to state that they know their audience wants physical games to play right off the cart. For launch, the biggest example of a third-party title shipping entirely on the cart is Cyberpunk 2077, which includes the base game and DLC. If we don't include games that are just getting patches, all in all, there's about 30 games primed and ready for Switch 2 launch day. But also, in a bit of a last-minute reveal, it turns out the Switch 2 has another launch game, via Level 5. Fantasy Life I, the girl who steals time, has been gaining loads of traction in the online gaming space over the last few weeks. And it's been revealed that a Nintendo Switch 2 edition will be ready on June 5th. If you're already playing it on your original Switch, you'll be able to upgrade it for just $2.50. With a lack of a new Animal Crossing anytime soon, fans of the iconic Nintendo series, or games like Dragon Quest Builders, Stardew Valley, Harvest Moon, or even Story of Seasons will likely find a whole lot to love with this launch game. All in all, the Switch 2 is looking to have quite a busy launch, seeing as the console releases just one day before Summer Game Fest kicks off, which will surely reveal loads of more games coming to the console in the near future. This summer is also shaping up to be pretty nice for the Switch 2. Just about a month and a half after launch, Nintendo is releasing a brand new 3D Donkey Kong game with Donkey Kong Bonanza on July 17th. A definitive edition of Super Mario Party Jamboree is coming on July 24th, and a Nintendo Switch 2 edition of Kirby and the Forgotten Land with a whole new campaign is hitting August 28th. We're still waiting for Nintendo to properly fill out the first holiday season of Switch 2 with dates for Kirby Air Riders and Metroid Prime 4, but this initial launch window will surely have Nintendo Switch 2 players very, very busy. Are you picking up a Nintendo Switch 2 on launch day? What games are you planning to play first? Be sure to let us know, and as always, you can stay tuned to Game Rant for more videos like this.